We are joined now by this morning's third special guest. Welcome to the program, Tom Gallo. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Jean.
Good to
Great
have you
to be here again. Thank you.
You've got a big couple of days coming up. I've got the past performances for tomorrow's fifth race in front of me, and I discovered that Wholelottashakin, who unfortunately lost her turf race last time out, is back.
Yes.
And you mentioned you've got a couple others coming up.
Yeah, Wholelottashakin should be, I mean, she's trained real good. Unfortunately, 60+ days, before a race is always a mystery. But she's 5-2, and she always gives it 150%. So we should be in good shape with her. We're also entering today for Sunday Clear Passage with Bruce Levine, not a parting glass horse, but a horse that I manage for Angie's farm, and she won her first Saturday here. So she's coming off a win. She's moving up to the A other than, and she's a witch. She is a witch. And the witchier she is and the bitchier she is, I mean, the better she runs. But I'm telling you, she is mean. I saw her this morning. She almost took my arm off. So I would say, for all your handicappers out there, I would say, pay attention to Clear Passage. And then we've got ReadyGetsGold, another parting glass horse. The nice thing about ReadyGetsGold is we had the scratcher. She was in earlier, but she shipped up and she was a little agitated. So Tom elected to, to scratch her. But this distance is more to her liking, so it was actually almost a blessing in disguise. We were in for 3/4. Now we're entering for 7 furlongs if the race goes. This should be much more to her liking. So I think she's going to be right there for everybody looking for tips. Everybody's looking for tips. They're jonesing for tips, So I'm saying these are 3 live horses. Parting Glass Racing, and then Angie's Farm, Bruce Levine, Tom Bush, the 2 on the end. And then I'd like to give a shout out to Henry Elser, Commander Henry Elser, who's got the 7th horse in the 9th race today with Graham Motion and John Velasquez. This is a great story. Kip, his son, everybody knows Kip Elser if you've been around at all in the backstretch or in the racing industry. Kip went all the way, they saw the horse was entered. Kip went all the way down to Westchester, Pennsylvania, pick up his dad, who's 90 plus or minus, drove him all the way up yesterday. So they'll be in the paddock. If you see Mr. Elser, Henry Elser, who at one time was could give anybody a run for their money. He will be in a wheelchair, but stop by, give him some luck, give him your best wishes, because he came all the way from Pennsylvania to see his horse run.
He's got John Velasquez riding for Graham Motion, coming in with 2 wins in a row.
Yeah, 2 wins in a row.
12-1.
And a homebred. Which is always nice to see.
Absolutely.
That's something that we don't really necessarily always give enough of a shout out to the people that not only they own the mare, they paid the stud fee, they take care of the mare for the whole time, the whole duration. Then they raise the foal.
Similar to Wholelottashakin. My wife, bred right out here in Bluestone, beautiful Bluestone Farm, just 21 miles away. The birthplace of commentator, and again, it's to go through all those hurdles and jump all those hurdles and finally get, to a race in Saratoga. But that shows you the mystique and the draw of Saratoga. I mean, your horse is in. Go get Dad. Where is he? Down in Pennsylvania. Okay, get him anyway. Bring him up. We got a horse in. I mean, that just shows how important and how nuts it is, to run in Saratoga. So it's. And they don't give anything away in Saratoga either. It's not like it's never easy, but it's certainly always fun. It's always fun running in Saratoga.
Tom, you mentioned that you are managing some horses for an outfit other than Parting Glass. Tell us a little bit. You often hear people say something about, oh well, talk to my racing manager, or so and so's racing manager has indicated blah blah blah. Tell us a little bit about what that responsibility is.
Well, I think right from the start. In this case, Angie's Farm bred this horse. We bought them the mare. I bought him the mare years ago, and we sold a couple out of the mare, and this one they decided to keep. You evaluate, you help them with their matings. I mean, from my standpoint, we help them with their matings. We use Alan Porter, who's one of the top genetics experts in the field. We mate the horse, and then as the horse is born, we raise our babies down in Florida. I'll go down to Florida, look at the babies, see how they're coming along, and then decide whether to take a shot with them or not. This filly happened to be doing everything right, and I tell you, when she was young, she was a lot nicer. She was a lot kinder. Then we find someone, put them in a program where they can be broken properly according to the wishes of the owner, seeing what their expectations are and what their wishes are, and then manage the horse, introduce them. I introduced Mr. Shupak and Andrew to the trainer, and you know, we happened to get in the right spot because we won a race at Saratoga. So right now, I look
You're
like a
doing
genius.
great.
You know?
Exactly. So you get to keep the job as his racing
That's
manager.
exactly right.
At least
Till the next race.
At least till the next race
Right,
goes on.
exactly.
Well, that'll be soon.
Yeah.
So you know, you got to
Yeah.
start crossing your fingers and getting ready.
And I do that for a number of people. I do that with the Petrosax Langpap stable, evaluate horses and then manage them. So it's a lot of fun. It's very, you know, when you have a horse like this that you bought the mare, you made it and everything, like you said about homebreds, it's really a lot of fun to see them grow up and come up here and compete.
Very fulfilling. We had Shug McGahee on a couple of weeks ago, and Shug was talking about the fact that, you know, I mean, in his outfit, he gets almost exclusively homebreds. In many cases, he might have trained the dam and even now the grand dam of the horse, and gets to work with some of the similarities and gets to really kind of get a feel for the family. So just a little bit different from somebody who's maybe going out and going to the yearling sales and buying, which obviously is a big part of the game. I mean, most, I guess, probably now more than half of the foal crop every year ends up going through an auction.
Yeah, I think you're right, because the market, the market's very strong right now, especially for New York breds. So people like to take a shot. We like to do that too, put them through the ring and see if we get the money we're looking for. At that time also, you're x-raying them from head to toe. I mean, you do that as babies anyway, but then you get them as yearlings, and so you really know what you have, heading into the sales, and then you see whether the market agrees with you on your value or not.
How have you found the Saratoga meet to be so far as getting your horses into races? So many full fields and everybody wanted to get a piece of the pie.
It's been tough. I mean, unfortunately, we got rained out. We were in, and we got rained out, so that was very unfortunate, but I think it's been okay. I think it's been okay. PJ, his job is to fill races, full fields, so he's going to use the race that fills, that gets the 10 or 11 horses, and so that's his job. So you have to try and make sure that you have the horse that's going to be in that full field. As the horses get better, it almost gets tougher to race. It's like this two other than New York bred going along on the turf.
It's a tough race.
It's a tough race to fill. So attrition-wise, as they go up the ladder, you tend to lose horses more than gain them. So it is, but we're just fortunate enough to be in and run.
And
we love it.
It's an interesting game in Wantam, which you've had a big influence here in New York, and we're happy to have you.
Well, thank you.
We thank you for joining us here this morning, talking a little bit about what you have going on with your horses at Parting Glass Racing, and obviously much coming up this weekend.
We're going to have an exciting weekend.
Tom and the crew, and he's got the logo on the shirt.
That's right. Look for Parting Glass Racing.
Exactly, right there. Thanks so much for joining us, Tom. We certainly do appreciate it. We'll thank our other special guests this morning, trainer Mark Hennig, as well as Mike Welch from the Daily Racing Forum. That will wrap up this edition of Capital OTB's The Inside Track. Coming up next, it's the Handicappers Report.